everybody. How are you today? Thank you once again for joining Just Talking Business. I am Stephanie Van Bark, and I am a small business owner. So today I get to interview a colleague and a friend. We have gotten to know each other through an organization we're both a part of, the Black Owned Media Alliance. We're working partners in that organization, and actually we've leaned on each other for advice. So I was like, this would be a great person to bring on board because she's definitely guided me, and I hope our conversation will guide you. Welcome. Hi, Alicia Couri.
Hi there, Stephanie.
How are you today?
I'm great. And I'm so thankful to be here with you. And not only that, I'm thankful for our friendship.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was just telling them I've learned a lot from you, and I think we brainstorm a lot, and
We've
I think
helped each other out a lot in this media
exactly.
world.
So as a matter of fact, we were just having a conversation right before this, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? So it works. It works. It works.
Yeah.
So tell us who you are and what you do.
So my name is Alicia Couri. I am the founder and CEO of Audacious Concepts, Inc. It is a boutique consulting firm that provides audacious solutions to nagging and persistent people issues that clog revenue pipelines of organizations. I am also the founder of RedCarpetCEO, which is a personal branding and media strategy company. We do media production, actually, like what you have. We have web shows,
That's what we do.
podcast, yes, and so I am. That's who I am. I'm a wife, a mother, and a business owner.
Okay. So first of all, that tagline was powerful. Let me say that. That's a very like that unclogging thing.
Yeah.
So which came first? Which started first? The audacious contest concepts or red
Red
carpet
carpet. Yeah.
CEO?
Actually, neither of them started first. The first one was AC Beauty. So I came from the fashion and beauty industry and transitioned into. Uh, I actually, there were a few steps along the way. So I started in the beauty industry. I studied fashion in college. I started in the beauty industry and love transforming people. And I think that's why I really gravitated towards fashion and beauty, because you have an opportunity to transform people really quickly. Like within an hour, someone could look completely different. And so I love the opportunity to do that. And I felt like there was more. Like there was still some more left for me to do that I was not doing. And I wanted to help people transform, not in a way that they can take it off or wash it off, but have true permanent transformation. And that's what started me on my path of really understanding how people work. Like, how do I work and how do people work? And I got certified in some brain science and people data tools, namely Colby assessments, predictive
Okay.
index assessments, and so that I can really help people understand themselves from a different level and help them see their blind spots and how they can transform those things. I do a lot of deep dive coaching and help them develop those things. And so it was kind of an evolution to
Mhm.
that, to where I am today. And the media stuff started in the process of growth. So as I was building my brand, as I was building this new evolution of my business, I started doing some television appearances, and that
Mhm.
led me into starting a radio show, which led me when Facebook Lives and other things like that started coming into the marketplace. Started doing Facebook Lives,
Mhm.
and it just kind of, that was the
Evolve.
iteration. It just evolved into that. Yeah.
So okay, so let's go back to who is your client? How do you, is it an individual or is it a company that contracts you to work with their staff?
That's a great question. It's both.
Okay.
It's both. So I work with leaders individually. If a leader wants to work with me on their self development, on their personal brand, on being more visible and more powerful, on their executive presence. I work with individual leaders that way. But what I also do is work with organizations and companies on
Mhm.
understanding their teams, understanding their leaders, and helping their leaders more powerfully impact the team. So it's on both levels that I work with them.
Now, I can imagine that maybe your business has shifted a little bit. The pandemic, what I found really interesting is the pandemic seems to have shifted people's mindset.
Mhm.
Um, Folks are doing things a little differently these days. So, as a result, have you had to shift your model and how you train and serve individuals and companies?
Yes, I absolutely did. Like I was doing Zoom meetings long before the pandemic. That's how I service my clients all over the country.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And so, um, one thing that I did do after the pandemic is shift my clientele
mm-hmm,
from more small businesses, because I was serving more small businesses
mm-hmm.
into mid-sized companies. So that's one of the bigger shifts that I made.
Was that
And
intentional?
it was intentional, because what the pandemic did for me as a small business owner myself is that suddenly small businesses couldn't pay anymore.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
so, as much as I wanted to be of service to them, I really had to look at the business model. And if I am working with companies with larger resources, then the likelihood of me working with a smaller company that suddenly their budget dries up for this, it's less likely that that's going to happen. So I did make that kind of a shift after the pandemic.
Okay. And marketing. So, how do you reach those mid-level companies? Are they folks that you are in organizations with, or you mentioned you have companies all over the country? How do you get to them? How do you get to teach them what you do?
Oh, so so a lot of networking, a lot of social media outreach, um, speaking, speaking in
Okay.
front of my ideal clients is one way. So speaking engagements, and then I am a member of certain associations as well, industry associations that help that process. So it's gaining visibility, just being visible in front of them, and referral. So most of my business has been referral based, but now I'm really on a campaign to get more visibility in front of my ideal clients.
So we were having last night. I was at an event. It was a Chase business event with Damon John, and I happened to be sitting with several young ladies, and we got to talking about networking. What's the benefit? How do you make this work for you? And you talked about networking being very key in building your business. Talk to if you don't mind my audience about what is your strategy when it comes to. I've heard different strategies. Some people say talk to everybody in the room. Some people say
Say find key people. Yeah, I've heard multiple strategies for networking too, and I've tried multiple strategies for networking.
right.
You know what? I would say number one thing is be in the right room, because I
Mhm,
spent a lot of years being in the wrong rooms
mhm.
because I was invited. Like just because someone says, "Oh, we have this networking event," and I was up and running over there, just networking to network, right?
It got no business from it.
And got nothing. I was just there supporting. I was like supporting cast for everybody who was having the networking event. There was a friend. Oh, I'm having this networking event. You should come. Okay, I'm gonna come. And I had to get strategic about my networking. And this is really hard when you're a small business owner and you're making all these great connections with other people, and they're having these events, and you want to support them as a friend and you want to be there for them, but it's not the right place.
Mhm, mhm,
And I
mhm.
had to learn to say no. I had to learn to tell them, you know what, this is just, I appreciate you. I thank you for inviting me, but this is just not the right place for me. They
Mhm.
invited me to come speak to their group. I'm like, I'm not going to get any business out. I'm going to be sharing a lot of really great, valuable information, but it's not bringing business to me to be
Mhm.
there and for
Mhm.
me to expense myself to get there, gas, my
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
and all of this to come and share for free and then leave with nothing. I had to start getting strategic about it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so that's the first thing you have to know. Who's going to be in the room?
Right.
Is there potential either for an ideal client being in the room or a business collaboration,
Mhm.
someone that can actually help in collaboration? Because a lot of people say, oh yeah, we can collaborate and I can help, and it
And
doesn't
that usually means
happen.
do whatever I need you to do. And
Doesn't happen. They may mean well. I'm not saying anybody's bad. I'm just saying they may mean well, but their business does not align with my business to collaborate on anything that's going to push it forward anyway, too.
right.
So, understanding what this networking event is about, who is going to be there, and what opportunities. I'm not saying that you can't find what is it, a ram in the bush, right? You can't
Mhm.
find you go to a
Right.
networking event and all of a sudden, wow, something amazing is going to happen.
Right.
But when you understand why you're going and where you're going and what is the purpose, and there may be opportunities for collaboration or the right audience you're going to be among,
Mhm.
then that's the first thing you do. And then the next thing that's really important is not that scattershot approach. It's not meeting everybody in the room. I've done that where you've gathered 100 business cards. Well, not 100. I'm
Right.
exaggerating,
And you don't
but
use
you
any.
come home with a stack of business cards,
Mhm.
and even if you then connect with them afterwards, 90%, 95% of people don't respond to your connection
Mhm. Mhm.
after that because you didn't make a connection with them.
Right.
So it's important to identify quickly when you're speaking to someone, yeah, this is not the person that I really need to be talking to at this event.
Right.
And be able to move on quickly. Oh, great to meet you. You don't even have to take their business card. If they're offering
Right.
it to you, be polite and take it, but you don't even need a business card because there's a relationship is not going to be built there.
Absolutely.
So go in with the mindset of building relationships and finding the right people to connect with.
Mhm.
And then it's more meaningful when you're there because even if you only speak to 2 or 3 people, you've created a connection there that can go further than having 20, 30 business cards and
Right.
not one of them respond to you when you've reached out to them. So,
And there's no opportunity
and there's
for
no
advancement. Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
So the scatter approach, not really that great, but
Mhm.
go with the mindset of really making a connection.
Mhm. I know I worked with a gentleman earlier on who said for his strategy, he goes with two business cards and in the room, he reads the room and whoever he finds or he thinks is going to be a great connection, he makes a beeline for them. And I have a few more than two business cards, but it really made me think, like you were
Yeah,
saying, who in this room is really going to be able to help me advance in the way that I want to. And I really am very intentional about, I will meet
it's
that
about
person.
being intentional. It's about being intentional.
Exactly. And I have a reason to speak to them and let's see how we can make this relationship grow.
And I actually
Um,
stopped doing, I have my business card, but I stopped really doing my business card. I just do my QR code now. I'm just like,
there were a couple of people with the QR
yeah,
codes.
I just do the QR code because it's like, it downloads directly into my contact info into your phone. And it's
Right,
like,
right. Makes life
um,
easier.
and then I tell them, send me a text. You have my contact information. Send me a text message now, and so I have your contact information because
Right,
I
right.
can't I can't promise you that I'm gonna keep your business card.
Right. It's just like,
So here's my contact information. Put it in your phone. Save it. Now send me a text right away with your
mhm,
name and your email address. Blah blah blah. So I know where we were, who I met, and all this stuff. So sometimes I take a selfie, so it's a little more fun. And I said, let me send you the selfie so you remember who I am, and
right.
just create that rapport with someone.
Yes, I do.
So that it's more fun than just give me your card. I give you my card. Blah blah blah. Now I actually have their contact in my phone. They
Right.
have my contact in their phone, and we've established that we can text each other,
Right. Right.
because one thing, you meet someone and let's say you're really busy and you don't get back to them for a week. A lot of times people don't remember meeting you.
Correct. Exactly. I
If you
agree.
took a selfie with them or you texted them, they've given you permission to text them.
Right.
So it's easier now to pick up your phone and text them and say, "Hey, I'm so sorry. We met last week at such and such event. I didn't get a chance to get back with you, but let me know if when we can get back together again and have and deepen our conversation or further the
Right.
conversation." And people will respond to text faster than they will an email. So
Right. That's true. That's true.
so
That's
it's a way to really create that trust rapport already. Then you
mhm.
just hand a business card and now you're going and you're sending an email and they may not even open your email.
Right. 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 So I okay. So how do now? Let me ask this. And again, I don't need numbers because I'm not trying to put all your business out there. But how do you make money? And what are your revenue streams? I guess in what you do. You're a service company, just like me,
Hmm.
and a lot of times it's difficult to explain what I do and what you're paying for. So, what are your revenue streams, and what would you charge? If someone is talking to you, do you offer packages or create packages based on what their needs are? And how do you work that pricing process and that
Yeah. So
that
there's a couple questions in there. So I'll take them one by one. So
right.
my streams of income, Red Carpet CEO, so the advertising through the shows, which is what we do through BOMA, is
Mhm,
getting advertising dollars from larger organizations or corporations to present during our shows.
mhm,
That's one. And then the consulting on the personal side and on the corporate side, I have packages, um, but within the packages, there's customization options.
mhm,
So when I talk about leadership development, so if I have an audacious leadership development program, within that, I based on the needs of the company, we co-create what the program actually will look like. I have elements of the program, workshops,
mhm,
different workshops, the assessment tools, and other things that we can do one-on-one coaching.
mhm.
So we have those elements, and so it's about moving the elements around how it
Mhm.
best suits the organization, for like which elements to pull in. Do you want a certain number of workshops? Do you want a certain hours of coaching and stuff like that? For
Okay.
individuals, so I don't do group coaching with individual leaders.
Okay.
I've toyed with the idea of creating masterminds where I
Okay.
can have leaders from all different leaders come into a mastermind program and do it that
Mhm.
way. My challenge is the timing thing. It's
Right.
just the time to pull it all together and then market it, because
Mhm.
that's a marketing strategy that's very, very different. You need sales funnels, you need all kinds of other strategies to pull the people in for that. And I just don't have the bandwidth right
Right.
now to create that kind of strategy. So it's really been a one on one situation where I work with different individuals, and we have a pricing for that that's
Okay.
completely separate from the corporate pricing, because my corporate pricing is very different than if I'm working with an individual leader.
Right. Now, what would you say has been your biggest challenge? And you and I have probably talked about this as well.
It's just managing it all. Oh my goodness. It's managing it all. you know, finding,
Time.
yeah, just prioritizing the sometimes the urgent from what's needed, because sometimes there's something that's needed but it's not as urgent as something else.
Right.
So it's prioritizing.
Okay.
That's what it is. And as I'm expanding and scaling, it's finding and hiring the right people to do the work that we need to get done.
Yeah, exactly. That's we've had that conversation too, by
We've
the way.
had that conversation many times. Yes, finding the right people with the right budget and
Mhm.
being able to scale, because we can't do it on our own. We need team. We need a team involved, and sooner rather than later. And that's the biggest challenge, is expanding your team.
So what do you think you've benefited from? And again, this is one of those conversations we've had, so that's why I'm like, it's funny. I came up with all these questions, and I don't even think I passed half of them. But it's what do you think, like the industry organization that we are involved in? I think you said you've been involved in some others. What do you think has been the benefit that, would you advise a small business owner to really invest in something like that?
Yes. Uh, Again, depending on what your needs are. So where I'm part of several different organizations,
Mhm,
and you have to really vet that organization to make sure that it is going to help you accomplish your goals.
mhm,
Being in an organization just for the sake of being in an organization is not enough.
mhm.
You have to make sure that it is aligned with your purpose. It's aligned with your growth and development. One of the business, um, my coach, she has a community that I'm involved with. I'm very involved with that because she's not just my coach, she's also my boss. So, because
Oh,
I am part of the faculty on one of her programs.
okay.
So, being in communities and I'm in that community because that's where I can get a lot of those individual business owners that are CEOs of their own small businesses, that
Okay.
they can become clients of mine. So being in that community helps me also not just learn and grow myself, but also get clients in that
Mhm,
community,
mhm,
get referrals, get opportunities. Someone might pull me in on what we call bench. They might pull
mhm,
me in because they have an opportunity to work with a larger organization, and they need the skill set that I have that they
mhm,
don't have. So they might pull me into a deal with them
mhm. Okay.
to service. So being in a community like that is super, super important. So you have to
Mhm.
find the right community that's
Right.
going to support you in your growth. And then
Right.
associations or organizations, like some people are part of different networking organizations like BNI, right? Where they can get referrals. I'm a part of an organization called B2B Business Team, where we get referrals from each other. There's associations that you can be a part of. There is like the chambers that you can
Mhm,
be a part of, you
mhm.
know, but it has to be aligned with where you're going and what you need. And you're the only one that can determine that. Don't become a part of an organization just to be a part of an organization if it's not in alignment with what you're doing or what you need.
You really hit the nail on the head with that, making sure that meet your goals. It's very hard
And
to
it's easy to
find.
get sucked into, oh yeah, you need to be in this organization, this organization, and this.
Absolutely.
It's easy to
Absolutely.
get sucked into it. And then you're paying these dues and you're sitting there every week or month or whenever they meet. And it's like, why am I here?
Right. Right.
Why am
But
I here? It's
you
not
have to
benefiting
also
me at
remember
all.
some of the things I had to, well, one thing I had to really remember is a lot of times these organizations are really, I mean, they have a goal they have to meet too. And, they have that's membership. They have to have a certain amount of membership. But does that mean they're really serving your needs? Maybe not.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
maybe you've got to be really clear about where your business is and where you're trying to get your business
Yeah,
to.
it took me a long time to understand
I
that
agree.
too.
I
I was part of a lot of different organizations, and I would go and sit there and like, why am I here?"
right. I'm not learning a thing. I'm not
Okay,
meeting anybody to do the business with.
you look to the left, you look to your, like Jim Rohn says, it's like,
This is not helpful.
this is not helping. No, it's not going anywhere. We're going nowhere fast.
So I just had like a chop session. I literally went through and was like, nope, I'm not doing that one anymore. I'm not doing that one anymore. I'm not doing that one.
Yeah, you have to. You have to be discerning because you get into this place when it's like you have all these responsibilities to all these places that you have to go to and you're paying money to, and then you're like, this is not working out. So you have
Right.
to start being discerning, and the earlier the better. Like
Right. I agree.
before you sign an application form, go visit a few times, see if the people are really the people that you want to be around. I mean, if you're going into an organization, and I'm not knocking anyone or any
Right.
organization. I'm just saying for
Everybody
you
gets something
personally,
different from different
yeah,
places.
you might go into an organization because this colleague is doing so well in it, and they're getting a lot of and they getting a lot of business or a lot of stuff happening for them, and they recommend it to you, and then you go and it's just totally misaligned with you. Just because they think it's great doesn't mean you can't think it's not. you
Right.
know
Exactly.
it's not,
Exactly.
because it just doesn't align with you. And so you
Absolutely.
go visit it a couple times, not just once, because they may have a guest speaker and you may not like the guest speaker, and then you have an opinion of the whole organization based on a speaker that you didn't like. Go a
Right.
few times, check it out, check the people out. I mean, are the people having conversations that are lively when they're doing their networking time, or are they just whining and complaining about everything?
Hmm.
Are they,
Hmm.
are they providing solutions? Are they pulling you up? Or is it just, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. You want to be in that environment,
And
sometimes you just
also, I was finding that sometimes I was in, because I felt like I was obligated to do so, I was in circles of rooms of people who were talking about things that I had made it past.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I clearly need to be in different rooms. I need to be in
That's
rooms
the
with
next
people
thing.
that know more than I know.
You need to be in rooms with people that know more than you know. So when you're in an organization for a little bit of time, and then you realize that it's not elevating anymore, and the people that are coming in are on a lower level, and not in a bad way. I mean, they just haven't learned the things that you've learned, or passed through. Like if you've been in business for 5 years plus and they're brand new to business, they're not going to understand where you need to go. They're not going to give you, and so those are the times that you need to start evaluating
Mhm.
which is the next room I need to be in,
Right. Exactly.
and
Exactly.
find it. Find
Exactly.
it,
Yeah. Be intentional about
be
finding it,
intentional about
just like
finding
you
it.
are with
Which is
networking.
why I love I love Bold House. I'm going to give her a shout out. I love Bold House because she's always iterating and bringing not just people who are new to business into the community, but people who are seasoned. So
Right.
we might get people in the coaching program that I'm facilitating, that I'm part of the faculty for. We have people who are brand new to business, that this is their first business that they've ever owned, and people who have been in business for 20 years, but they
Hmm.
need to learn a different way of doing business. And so
Hmm.
she's coaching that spectrum of people. So not
Right.
only am I getting an opportunity to pour into people who are new, but I'm
Hmm.
also getting to learn from people who are
That are
seasoned.
pouring into you.
Yeah, that are pouring into me. And it's a really unique mix in that community.
Mhm.
And it's really a beautiful place to be.
Very cool. Very cool.
Mhm.
So you are a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur, which means you don't sleep. You sleep,
Well,
but
you know what? Yeah. Well, thankfully my kids are older, so I do get to sleep.
okay,
I get
okay.
some sleep.
Thank goodness, thank goodness. But
Yes.
I mean, you're still a very busy woman. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, we're sort of joined at the hip sometimes with Boma, and you're like in the car. I'm on my way to a meeting, but I'll
Yeah, I'm
be.
on my way to pick up my kids. I'm on the way to a meeting. I'm
I'll call you
coming
back.
back
I'll
from
call you
this. I'm coming back. Yep. I do
back.
a lot of work in the car.
So how do you? I mean, and this is going to be a multi-pronged question. How do you operate or function or manage your day? Um, h- are you good at time management? Is that a work in
Listen,
progress?
again, we don't manage time. Nobody manages time. Time moves on its own. we manage activities within time.
Within
Right?
time.
We
Okay, so
manage.
are you good at managing
I'm
activities within
not
time?
always, not always. So my calendar is my lifeline
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
and my detriment. Because if it's not put into the calendar and I don't see it,
It's not gonna happen.
it's not happening. And sometimes there are important things come up, um, and it didn't make it into my calendar.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, crap. Or I get double, triple booked
Right.
because I didn't consult my calendar before I said yes to something. Just being real. And then it's like, oh, I have to be two places at once, you know. And then it's like scramble, 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 calling people, can I move this? Can I move this around? No, I can't. Oh, you know. So I have to always have my calendar, and I have my phone calendar, which is vitally important.
Mhm.
Um, and I have a booking system, and I have a wall calendar, and I have calendars all around me.
Wait, how do you make all those match?
I don't always, and that's the problem.
Right.
That's my big problem, because sometimes, and this is why anytime I have a conversation with someone and they say, "Yeah, let's set up a meeting," I try not to. I consult my calendar. If I'm driving, I'm like, I have to look at my calendar. I'm driving right now. I'll check it when, like, even when we were doing this, I'm like, I think Tuesday's good, but let me check my calendar. You
Let me
know,
make sure. Okay,
because
we can do it.
I think in my own mind that I can keep all these appointments
Mhm,
floating
mhm.
around in my head and be accurate, and I can't. And so I delude myself sometimes into thinking, oh, yeah, I know what my schedule looks like tomorrow, and I have time between this and this. No. So the answer to the question is I don't always get it right. I don't always get it perfect, but I live by my calendar.
Uh-huh.
And when I don't get it right and I don't have it perfect,
Oh
you
well.
know, oh
I'm
well,
sorry. I'm
you
sorry.
know.
I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out. Like Marie Kondo says, everything is figure outable. We'll
Right.
figure it out. You know, if I have to beg somebody, and I've done this where I've had to move one appointment multiple times with one person, and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. I gotta do this again.
It's the reality of life.
Like,
You know, something came up with my kids, and I have to move this
sorry. I apologize. Yeah,
for the
I get
fifth
it.
time. I'm so sorry, but
I,
it's how
I'm
life is
guilty
sometimes.
of. I'm guilty of. I'm pretty good with putting appointments in my calendar because I'm like you, but I do the Google Calendar, so um, it's my lifeline. I can't
I
function
have
without it.
to. I have to.
My big problem is I don't build in time for
Going to the bathroom? Yeah.
that either. That either. And eating. I swear to
And
God, that's my
yeah,
limit.
I haven't eaten yet today.
I have, I have not. And so I said, right after I finish this, I'm going to get something to eat because I'm
I gotta
starving.
go eat. Yeah, exactly. I have
But I
that.
didn't build that into the calendar. And I also didn't build in like time to just sit and contemplate what next steps are, what my strategies are. I'm meeting.
No,
And then
I've started, but you have to start blocking out those times
uh-huh.
for strategy and for doing different things on your business and not always
Right,
working in your business.
right.
And you have to block those things out, because that's when you can again become the CEO of your business and take that 30,000 foot. Where are we going? Where are we? Like,
Mhm,
what's happening right
mhm.
now? You have to take those scheduled times to do that. But yeah, sometimes I look at my calendar and it's like meeting after meeting after meeting. It's like, oh, I haven't eaten yet. I haven't gone to the bathroom.
Right.
I need a minute, you know.
And going to eat might take a little more time than 5 minutes of shoveling something down.
Oh, listen, I started this health program, and I have to prepare my foods now. I can't just go grab something, which I used to do, shove it in the microwave and
Mhm,
take 2 minutes and then shovel it down. I
right.
actually have to prepare fresh food to eat.
Mhm.
So even taking that time now, it's like, oh,
Don't you feel guilty?
No.
I swear I do, because I'm supposed to be doing the same thing, and I've been doing it on weekends so far. But even to just stop and get it in, toaster oven to, smart oven to cook, is like I should be doing something else. There's something else I should be doing, and
No.
it's
I
really
let go, you gotta let go of that because you drive yourself crazy.
absolutely, absolutely,
You
absolutely.
drive yourself absolutely crazy.
That's
I'm
a
like,
that's a
yeah. You have to learn to let go of the guilt
uh
of things not getting done, of things because you're just one person and you can only do so much.
right.
And self-care, we drive ourselves into burnout without
Absolutely.
self-care. And yeah, I'm laughing and stuff. Yes, the eating thing is a reality that I am still trying to figure out how to do this. So I'm in that transition phase of still trying to work that out in my
Mhm.
schedule. How can I successfully do this? And looking at meal prep plans, like I'm going to
Mhm.
have to start ordering food and having, healthy food delivered to my house so that I have food because it's really interrupting. So we have to start looking at how we can leverage other things around us. I do the grocery delivery stuff, the
Mhm.
Publix, the Instacart delivery stuff because I don't have time to go grocery shopping anymore. And now
Right.
that my daughter, who does the shopping for us now, is back in college, she don't have time to go grocery shopping either. So we have to start leveraging these technologies that are out there for us to
Okay.
help us with our life, you
Okay.
know? So
You don't
so
assume that they're very expensive. Check and see. I think a
yeah,
lot
don't
of
always
times we're
assume.
halted because we're thinking it's going to be a crazy amount of money. I know I just hired a cleaning service here, and
Uh-huh.
I kept beating myself up. And I had a friend that was like, "Stop that! You're
Stop it.
busy. Go get you a
Leverage.
cleaning service," and it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna get a recommendation from you on that too because I've been searching for and I haven't been able to find the right ones
okay,
yet for
cool.
me.
The
Yeah.
people I'm
So
working with, I
I'll take
like
a
so
a
far for
thing
sure.
from you. But I heard someone say this the other day. There are only three resources that we have. We have time, we have money, and we have knowledge.
Mhm.
And you need to leverage two every time to get the third.
Okay,
You
and
need to leverage two to get the third.
that's
So
time and
if you don't have time, you need to leverage money and knowledge to buy back your time.
gotcha. Okay.
If you don't have money, you need to use your knowledge and your time in order to generate money.
That's good. That's a good
And if you
strategy.
don't have the knowledge, you need time and you need money in order to gain the knowledge.
Gotcha.
So
Very
we
good.
have
Okay, that's a good
three
idea.
resources,
Okay.
but we have to always leverage two of them in order to get the third.
Okay. And that's time, money, and knowledge. All right, that's a good way to
Time,
look at
knowledge,
it.
money, and knowledge.
Okay, I'm glad you shared that with me because now as I'm really starting to think through it, I know I'm trying to get better at time management, but really time management that allows me to um, structure my day so I'm working more on my business than in my business, as we just
Mhm.
shared. And so now it's a good way for me to kind of think about how do I strategize getting to those
Yeah,
methods. Cool.
right.
So, do you ever suffer from imposter syndrome?
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Suffer from, teach it,
Live it.
live
That's
it.
like, I mean,
Listen,
weird. Now that I think about it, yeah, I was having that conversation with you the other day about how I thought I was an imposter.
yeah, listen. You know the saying they say another level, another devil.
Mhm.
Every time you elevate, there is that opportunity to experience imposter syndrome.
Correct.
If
Correct.
you don't have the tools to know how to overcome it, then that's when it becomes a problem.
Okay. Okay.
So that's
It
one of the
keeps you
things that
stuck.
I
It keeps
do.
you stagnant.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I help leaders through.
Uh
I
huh.
have my 7 steps to audacious confidence. So I have my framework on 7 steps to audacious confidence. So every time you step into something new, something different, or up leveling to a new level,
Mm-hmm.
there's that little, and it depends on your mindset, how long it stays with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you have the tools to overcome it quickly, it can just be a blip. It's like, okay, let's go. Or it can prolong, and then you end up, like, oh, I don't feel worthy of this. I don't know if I should. I don't, and so it's all up to you.
Do you think you're working with the individuals through this imposter process, the 7 steps of audacious consciousness? I mean, wait,
Confidence. Yeah.
confidence. Yes. Do you think it's helping you? Like, are you
Always.
finding
Always.
that your coaching is kind of
Always. Listen, what you want to learn, you teach. That's
yeah,
that's that's how I've lived. If I want to learn something, I teach it. So I
right,
can learn and teach, and when you're teaching it, it solidifies the learning for you.
right,
So I remember when I started going to the church that I've been going to now for 24 years
oh
plus. I
wow,
think 24 years now. Um, I started going to that church. I started learning, and I was so, like, all the spiritual knowledge. I was just excited about all of it. And then I put my daughter into the children's ministry at the time. She had just turned 2,
mm-hmm.
and I started bringing her to church because I started going by myself first to check it out, and then I started bringing her, and I put her in there, and I'm like, I don't know what they're teaching her. And suppose she comes home, because she was a very precocious, very, at 2 she was talking, she was reading at 3, so she was very always asking a lot of questions, and I'm like, all this spiritual stuff is new for me too. If she starts asking me questions, I'm not going to know how to answer her. So
Right,
I became a teacher in that 2-year-old classroom, so I can learn, so that when she starts asking me questions, I can answer her. So
right,
that was like, that's how I've been living my life. It's like, I need to learn this so I can teach it, so that I can learn it. So I can teach it
right.
more,
Know
so I
what
can
I'm
learn
doing.
it.
So
Because
then
listen,
it can
I can
instill
I
in
can keep
me.
learning, and it can keep solidifying with me. So and that's why I love doing the shows that I do too, because I get to learn, and then I get to share, and I get to
I
teach, and I
agree.
get to learn, and I get
I
to
agree.
share, and and it just like fills my soul.
I agree. I love these shows for that reason. I tell the audience all the time,
Hmm.
I'm excited about doing these because I always learn something.
Always
So,
learn something. Hmm.
and from this lady, I always learn anyway. Because, like I
Yeah.
said, we call each other like, "What are you doing? How do I do this?
Exactly. And
How
but
do I
to
do
answer your
this?"
question about imposter syndrome, like I said, I have the 7 steps to audacious confidence, which I walk myself through at times too.
Right.
I don't know if I told you the story about when I finally decided to do the pageant, how I had to walk myself through those 7 steps to even make the decision to do it. Because talk about imposter syndrome, talk about just fear, like coming smack up against my terror barrier,
Right.
all the
Right.
fears that I had. It helped me become aware of the fears that I had been experiencing and why I had been experiencing them. And then I walked myself through those 7 steps and made the decision to do it, which was, at that point, it was like, oh, this is going to be a piece of
Right.
cake.
I can do this. This is going to be excellent.
I'm gonna test it. Yeah.
So cool, cool, cool. So, what's next for you? Where do you want to go from here?
Oh gosh, world domination.
Take over. Well, she's starting already because I read in her bio. She's doing some
Taking over the world, taking
Bye,
over.
ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, so we both know Tony,
Yes,
listen, president of BOMA.
yes.
So Tony and I have been working on some film projects,
Oh,
and
cool.
so we're still again finding the schedule, because you know how busy he is, you know how busy
Yes,
I am, and
yes.
finding the scheduling time to actually work on these films together.
Mhm.
So it's more of the filming. We're really desiring to get these films finished and out there in the market. So filming these movies, and that's what's next. Continuing to help organizations with their people, help them understand how to grow um, with the great resignation and now businesses trying to hire again, giving them the tools and the resources. I have webinars on hiring that are coming up. So if anyone wants to join those webinars, connect with me and we'll send you a link to the webinar on some of the best practices for hiring. How do you hire successfully? The one we did recently was how to avoid the trauma of a mishire. The 3 keys to hiring correctly. We have a lot of resources on hiring, on, like I said, talent optimization, understanding who is in your business. Who are the
Right,
people coming to your business every day? We need
right.
to learn who they are and optimize them so that they are producing at a high level for your
Mhm.
company, but not in a way that is toxic
Right.
or stress inducing.
Mhm.
So, just continuing to help companies and organizations and leaders do their thing. And of
Okay.
course, sharing our shows, which I'm excited to bring back my podcast,
Yes.
Leading with Audacious Confidence, is launching again in October. And we closed out the season for Love My Body, Love Myself, which I really enjoyed that show a lot. And we'll bring that back next year,
Okay.
probably for Women's History Month. We might bring it back in March of next year.
Nice. Nice.
What else is new? I don't know, my kids are.
They're gone. They're
they're,
gone and
they're-
grown.
well, one left over the summer to go to Minnesota. So I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to hearing what winter is like for her. Lived her whole life here in South Florida and now is in Minnesota.
See if she's back
Um,
by December.
no, she'll stick it out. She'll
Okay.
stick it out at least for one winter before she decides to move back. And then, um, you know, just continuing to take care of my health and those things.
Okay. So, and how can we find you?
Alicia360.com is the easiest way to connect with me, to find me. I have my website for my company listed on that portal. All my social media channels are listed there. My shows, my books, everything is listed on Alicia360.com. Ways to get on my calendar, because I need to go by my
That
calendar.
calendar.
You want to get on my calendar, go to Alicia360.com. There's a booking link there. There are links to, text, email, uh, phone call, everything, WhatsApp, smoke signals, everything is right there. So it's the best way. Send me a smoke signal.
I've been able to do it by text, but I can't say that's going to work for everybody.
Send me puff, puff, puff.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much for talking to me and to our guest. I think again, I learned a lot, and I definitely highly recommend. Like I said, we've had the chance to brainstorm and work together. I definitely recommend that you work with her because she's amazing.
Thank you.
She's definitely taught me some wonderful stuff. So,
Yes, I love to be strategic advisors to people, to leaders.
okay.
That's my best role, is to bring me in as a strategic advisor. So even if you don't want to coach or do any of our programs, having me in your hip pocket, because there's so many things that I've learned over the years,
Mhm,
especially on the mental side and your mental game, that subconscious mind that could sabotage you,
mhm,
helping you
mhm.
through your blind spots. That's really a sweet spot for me as a strategic advisor to leaders, to help you with your people and yourself, growth for yourself. So connect,
Cool.
give me a call.
Good. Thanks. I will talk to you soon. Thanks
Mwah, mwah,
again.
mwah. Appreciate it.
Very well. Thank you. So, thank you everyone for joining us again. I told you this was going to be a powerful show. I learned some stuff, and I hope you did too. And I hope you will join us again here on Just Talking Business, where we are just talking business for small business owners. I'll talk to you soon.